My name's Blinky, and welcome to my garage.
It's progress report time, and we have got some progress to report. Where do I start? I put the original seats back in just to make sure that fitment was nice. Obviously they're still torn, they need to be retrimmed, which I started to take off the skins so that they're ready to be, de-stitched and trimmed up. These are the foams, which are in extremely good condition still. Seats have been trimmed at some point in their life already. This is all new foam through here. The original headrest, etc. But they're going to come out pretty good once they got some new cloth on them. So the seats are getting prepped. And I've made a nice big mess in here. And as you can see, I've gutted the air conditioner box and the fan box and the heater because the heater core was leaking onto the floor of the car, onto the carpet. So this is the little culprit right here. I do want a heater in this car. I don't want to just block it off and be done with it. There's nothing worse than driving down the highway in stormy, rainy weather and having the windscreen fog up on you. Not only is it dangerous, it's really a pain in the backside wiping it with a rag all the time or your hands. So I want this heater to be working and functioning properly. Basically, I put the garden hose in here on very low. I put my thumb over the outlet and I had water flying out of this area here. Just there's a little split down here somewhere. So basically the heater core's stuffed. I'm about to take it down to Red Devil Radiators to see if they've got a core available that they can re-core this thing. The ends look to be in pretty good condition, so I'm pretty sure they'll be able to work with that. Fingers crossed they've got a core. If not, they'll have to make one up, and it might take a bit longer than usual, but it doesn't really matter too much. This has to be replaced no matter what. Hard to find these things. Even with the old Sleeker I had, the heater core was almost impossible to find, so without getting one rebuilt, of course. So I'm just going straight to the rebuild process and recoring this old thing so we don't have any leaks on the floor. So all of this has to go back together. I didn't record taking it out because my God, what a mission it was. In all honesty, it's not too difficult to remove. It's just, the awkward body positioning inside the car and your hip pushing up on the handbrake and all these little bits. It's painful more than anything. So anyways, we got to put that back in at some stage. May as well fix this now before going any further, while the seats and whatnot are coming out. Another update is the window is in. I said I was going to record it. I decided against recording it because it was a pain in the rear end to put this thing in. The Celica one was actually a lot easier. So I think I'll let the professionals and their YouTube tutorials guide you through the front windshield install process. There's a couple of good videos on YouTube you can watch. I've done it a few times, but this one just proved to be a little bit difficult because normally I start putting the window rubber in at the bottom here, but because of the angle you have to push the seal in on the rim of the steel, this rubber lip was down inside the gap, and it made it very, very, very hard to push the rest of the rubber in. So I flipped it and I decided to do the top first. So we ran the wire around the total edge of the seal and we left this part open, pushed up the window into the top seal or the top metal rim of this window, and the rubbers sat nicely on top, which allowed us to pull the wire all the way around the edge. And then this real difficult to reach part in here, especially because the dash is there, as we pulled the wires out, it just popped into place. And also this rubber was sitting on top of where it needed to be. Starting from the bottom was a real pain in the backside. So I do recommend pulling your wires from the top here and getting this top part seated first. It took us a first go when we did it this way, but it took us 3 or 4 goes doing it this way and I gave up. I've also ordered the new locking strips that go in through here. Luckily enough for me, I do still have the original corner pieces for the front window. I also have them for the rear as well. On the rear, I have put on the original locking strip, which looks like it's seen better days. It's just a bit cruddy. There's like breaks in it everywhere, and it's just a bit horrible. So this is going to come back out, and I'm going to put the new locking strip back in place, but also keeping these. Apart from that, little things like the windscreen wipers were super easy to install. There's a bolt, put it on. I'm going to have to get some new rubbers for these blades. These are a little bit horrible and they don't really work that well. I did test it, and I still got to find myself a bonnet stay. I did call Peter Robinson again to ask about a few things. The bonnet stay is going to be hard to post because it's such a massive, big, long parcel, so that could be interesting. But the window washer bottle did rock up. This was just a generic one on eBay. It was listed for the KE series Corollas. What I noticed was it was too tall and it was hitting out on the bottom of the strut tower down here. So what I did was actually lift this bracket up one bolt hole to bring the height of this bracket up. I also had to widen this bracket so it would fit the slots on this water bottle. So lifting it up one and widening that bracket just by bending it fits this water bottle in really nice. New little pump, new hoses, new T-piece. Also this one clips straight in with the original harness plug shape directly on top of the motor. So that made it really easy to install. That's now in and working like a treat. And given that the heater core is stuffed, I had to drain all the radiator fluid down into the bucket and drop all the fluid so I could actually, take that heater core out of there. Oh, and one last thing, I do have a stone chip right here. Never saw it until I was installing the window. Not a problem. I've got a window chip dude on the way today to actually come and repair that, so that's going to take care of that as well. All the seat belts are in and they're working really, really well. They all retract by themselves, which again is a legal requirement for registration in Queensland. All those little tiny things need to be done nicely, need to be done properly. I really hate this steering wheel. I really hate it. I'll work out what steering wheel I want to put in this. Oh, we'll see you in a bit when we sort out this heater core. All right, things are moving along nicely. I'm back from the radiator joint. Oh, there's still liquid in it. I went down to Red Devil Radiators in Oxenford on the Gold Coast, and I was really lucky because they've got a bunch of these heater cores for the old Toyotas pretty much in stock. This is an original Denso core, which they replaced my old core. They've resealed the top caps, they've resealed the actual stems that come out of it as well. So they've done a pretty decent job on giving me a working heater core again. They're not going to be in perfect condition unless you want them to build a brand new one for you. I wasn't necessarily wanting a new one, I just wanted something that didn't leak. So I grabbed this one, saved a little bit of money on it. I'm just going to have to bend some of these little fins back, but they've tested it and there's no leaks. So now I'm excited I get to grab this, put it back in the heater box, and then back into the car. Like I said, if you are looking for one of these old heater cores and yours is stuffed and you don't know what to do or how to get one, this is their business card. It is Red Devil Radiators. There's a few shops throughout Australia, I believe. At least on the Gold Coast there's two. So ask for Greg at the Oxenford one, and he'll know exactly what we're talking about. The old Toyota heater cores. Pretty happy with this. Let's start getting this sucker back together and put in there. All right, from here on in, probably going to see a lot of the back of my head. You might hear a few swear words.
Thought I may as well change the connecting hoses from the heater core just because I've got new hose here. I may as well put it on. This is so old, probably never been changed before. Get rid of that. Alright, we got that loosely back in place. Now I've got to remember where everything goes. Oh boy. There's a long bolt that goes through the top. Trying to get this top one's on, just seems to be tightened, but I need to put this clamp over this with the old school kind of clampy clippy bit. I'm going to continue doing this and I'll see you when I'm done, I guess. Might be a while. Alright, update. Rear bracket is now in place. Fan motor's back in place, 3 bolts. This is a real squeezy job and it's a pain in the backside. At least I'm going to have to only do this once. Let's continue. Alright, so the job itself isn't that hard, as say, like it's quite simple. You've got a couple of 10mm bolts up here, here, and here. And there's one right at the back where my finger is that holds the heater area up. And then you've got some bolts on a bracket behind that little plate that you take off. It's not that difficult, but it's painful because of the angles you have to get your body on and your arms twisted and all that kind of stuff. So all the cables are now back in place. Heater box is in. All of these little vent doobie-dads now work like they should, which is good. So what we're going to do is fill the car back up with radiator fluid, turn the car on, let it go up to temp, and then whack this heater on, which opens up a valve on the return pipe from the radiator to feed through the heater core. If there's leaks, that's going to be a pain in the butt, because the only place it can now leak, now that they've pressure tested it, is my join with the 2 new rubber gasket things. So fingers crossed they're on tight enough and I don't have to pull anything apart again. Let's fill it with water and find out. Alright, let's get this thing started up to temp and hopefully we have no leaks through the heater core. No leaks. Which is really good. The heater core, when it leaked, was actually dripping down onto this plate here, which is part of the defogger recirculation area that directs air somewhere else. These 2 hoses here are what I'm trying to make sure has no leaks in it. I'm pretty sure this unit's not leaking because Red Devil Radiators fixed that. But I just want to make sure that these clamps I've put on correctly. Definitely worth me putting new hoses on them because the old ones were stuffed. But so far so good. Right, that works absolutely fine. Engine comes up to temp, no issue. Turn the heater on, hot air comes out of underneath the cabin, which is good. No leaks, so that is awesome. That was a speed bump taken care of now. Again, big thank you to Greg at Red Devil Radiators in Oxenford. Like I said, if you do have one of these old KE model cars and your heater core is stuffed and you want to go through as much effort and pain as I did to change it, give him a buzz and ask him if he's got any of these original factory Denso heater cores for the old KE model Corollas left. Fingers crossed he does. If not, he'll make you a new core. So give him a buzz if you need it. Anyways, that's going to do it for this one. We're getting there.